This is Lenny Farlee, Purdue University Extension Forester. Now let's ID that tree. In this edition of ID That Tree, we're going to introduce you to a quite uncommon Indiana species, mostly because it's got a very restricted range in the state, and that is sugarberry or sugar hackberry. So sugarberry is found native only in the southwestern corner of Indiana and also extreme south central Indiana, mostly along the Ohio River, Wabash River, and its feeder streams. And it is a bottomland species primarily. Now, it has a very common relative that can be found across the state, and that is American hackberry. And these can be easily confused. However, there are a variety of characteristics that will help you separate identification. First off, sugarberry has somewhat smaller and oftentimes more narrow leaves that have either smooth margins or very weakly toothed margins, as we see here. Hackberry has a tendency to have larger leaves that are much more strongly toothed on the margin. So good identification feature there. Both these species have alternate leaf arrangement, simple leaves, and have a tendency to have what we call uneven leaf bases, so a bit of a lopsided leaf base where the leaf attached to the stem. Another characteristic that can help us with sugarberry identification is it has a tendency to have very smooth gray bark with just scattered warts on that bark. American hackberry has a lot of variation in bark pattern, but it will have a tendency to have quite a few more warts on the bark and can in fact be very rough and warty in texture. So sugar hackberry actually gets its name because its fruit is also a little bit sweeter than American hackberry. Both of them highly favored by birds, so it's a good wildlife species. Also tend to be pretty tough trees, and so they can make good selections for ornamental plantings as well, as we have here. So sugarberry or sugar hackberry, closely related to our much more common American hackberry.